So let's finish today's beautiful day. So we talked a lot about what's going on in our food. I'm going to share a few more stats with you here. And what are the solutions, right? We have all these problems, all these issues, everything going on here. So we really tried to create a very simple and easy cleansing program here at Nutritional Frontiers. Some of you, this might be a little refresher, a little review, but some of you might be seeing this for the first time. Again, we know you have so many things going on in your practice, so many things going on in your life. But, you know, just like traditional Chinese medicine, the best times to detox, spring and fall. Fall is here, okay? And always think, when in doubt, you can never go wrong with detox. Never go wrong with cleansing program. Okay? In fact, your most complicated cases are the ones who are the most toxic, who need this type of support, this type of program. So always think that first and foremost. So we know there's different types of detox programs out there. We're focusing on the liver and the colon today. Obviously, we detox through the lungs, the kidneys, menstruation for females, of course, and the skin, right? So all different types, all different ways we detox. So we talked about the perfect storm, the poor diets, poor lifestyle, and then you have all the different environmental toxicities and the medications and the stress leads to the perfect storm, perfect problem, so to speak. You have all these other aspects, internal toxicity issues. As Jamie alluded to, and Dr. Ella, constipation, candida, parasites, so common, so typical, so often overlooked by the medical community. So again, always think these things. These things should always be at the top of your list there. So, we'll talk about the liver. We know, again, over 500 functions, extremely vital. We heard many stories earlier today with Dr. Ella talking about numerous issues there. The skin, how we can do that. Exercise, of course, helps. Infrared saunas, of course, helps. The colon, fixing that golden mold, over 70% of your immune system. Lungs, definitely needs to be supported there if you're having any type of breathing issues going on. For females, menstruation issues. Kidneys, need proper clearance through the kidneys. So supplemental-wise, some of the different ways we can help. We'll talk about the liver in more detail here in a moment. Skin, HA+. So again, some people think, well, that's a joint issue or a joint supplement, but it does also help to detoxify the material in the joints, in the joint capsule itself. For the colon, Frontier Cleanse, we'll talk more about that in fiber. For the lungs, Airmax, which Dr. Ella alluded to numerous times, and N-acetylcysteine, excellent for lung support. So any lung issue, whether it be seasonal allergies, whether it be asthma, bronchitis, pneumonia, COPD. Now we would dose more. We recommend with the chewables, 2 chewables 3 times a day. Getting off the dairy especially. Dramatic difference. We've seen some incredible results with that. For females, Estro Cleanse 2, we feel that this is the most comprehensive estrogen detoxifier on the market today. Kidneys can be tincture, one of our tinctures. So those are just some of the different ways, some of the different supplements that support these different types of cleansing issues. So if we look at the history of cleansing, initially it was all about fasting. Okay, it goes back to the Bible, fasting, multiple days. Can this be helpful? Yes. Is it the maximum way to detox? No. No, it's not. Actually, it can do more long-term damage if you continue doing different long-term fasting. Then juicing. Juicing became very popular in the 70s and 80s. Can juicing help? Yes. Is it the maximum way to detox? No. No, because you need certain proteins, certain aminos, things you typically don't get in juicing to get maximum clearance of those toxins. So it helps. People telling me I juice all the time, great, excellent. But that's not really a true detoxification program. And then we'll talk about our support, our way we do it, to get we feel is the fastest, most beneficial cleansing type of program on the market today. So, the environment affects our genetic expression. Again, one of my mentors, Dr. Jeffrey Bland, is the father of nutrigenomics. That's what when people say, what do you do? I don't tell them I work for a nutritional company. I tell them I'm a wellness consultant for nutrigenomics. And they go, what? What's that? But we can't change the gene, but we can change the gene expression with food and with proper nutrients. And either turns food on, or turns the gene on, I should say, or turns the gene off, right? So always try to use simple analogies when you're talking to your patients, clients on this. So food plays a critical role. Then we look at all the other factors there. We talked about these a lot earlier. Chemical exposure, the drugs, medication, stress, fatigue, lack of exercise affects our genetic expression. And what we really feel this is functional medicine. That's what I was trained in. That's what we believe here at Nutritional Frontiers. This is the true functional medicine matrix. So there's lots of different areas here, lots of different topics, all have their place and benefit and purpose. For this talk today, we're just going to focus on the detox aspect of it. But at some point, we want to really look at the entire program when you're talking to people, when you're doing your consults, looking at the true big picture of functional medicine. So with toxins, we can run, but we can't hide. No matter how much we try to eat organic food, no matter how much we exercise, it's impossible in today's world. We know that. So all the different factors add up, and then we listed them all there. So here's a great stat you can always quote. Again, the chemicals pumped into our environment in the United States in 1 year alone, 1989, would fill a line of semi-trucks stretching from LA to Iowa. Think about that. That's pretty amazing. And again, that's 1989. It's gotten a lot worse since then. So some of these chemicals we can see, some of them we can't see. So of course the aerosol sprays, the chemicals and solvents used in paints, just mentioned a couple there. I really like this slide a lot because I always start with our home. So just breaking that down for people to see the garage, all the different things they carry on the shelf. Look at the heater, the asbestos. What kind of stove, what kind of heating, or the fireplace. The curtains, the foams, padding on the couch and sofa. The carpet itself. All these add up. Dr. Eller alluded to people, what they're using to kill the weeds. The mold, which I think is a huge factor in today's world. Agree 100% with Dr. Ella. All this adds up to just a big toxic mess. And then people wonder why they're getting sicker and sicker. So again, we can get you that slide if you need any of these, if you'd like to blow those up. So, of course, we know we can physically see or visibly see the air pollution in our environment, the water pollution in our rivers and streams. And again, if you're looking at the stats, there's a great one. Our own government, EPA, 1993. Look at the millions and millions of pounds of chemicals that's being released. And again, it's gotten a lot worse. These numbers have all increased in our environment. In the air, all the different typical pollutants going on there. Okay. So, of course, you have the estrogen aspects going on, the xenoestrogens. And one of the largest studies that was done, Lancet in 2007, most of you are familiar with this, over 1 million postmenopausal women in the study. Half the women took hormone replacement therapy for 5 years. They tracked them down there. The study followed the woman, 5.3 years incident ovarian cancer, 6.9 years for mortality there. So what they found against the stats, the women using HRT, 23% more likely to die of ovarian cancer, but when you added breast and endometrial cancer, it increased to 63%. So, is that the answer? No. So we talked about the chemicals in the water, and then the antibiotics in our foods. Another major issue. Over 3 million pounds of antibiotics every year. Chicken and cattle, 24 million pounds alone. So, we know, of course, the antibiotics destroy our intestines, weaken our immune, and just another reason why people are having problems. Then we look at even healthier foods like tuna. Again, and of course, the white tuna, albacore, has been tested to have over 3 times more mercury than regular tuna. So that's not the better form if you're going to have tuna. Organic. So of course we always recommend organic, but that does not guarantee completely chemical free. This study goes back 2002, 23% of all organic produce had herbicides and pesticides in them. But that's way better than regular conventional. Regular had over 70%. So it's still better, but it won't protect you. Some of you have seen this list before. This is known as the Dirty Dozen here, the most common pesticide or highest pesticide foods. Strawberries at the top of the list. So again, you can go super crazy on organic, but these are the foods that we absolutely recommend the most, that you should try to eat organic as much as possible, because these have the highest amount of pesticides in them. So please show that to your patients and clients. What are the best foods for detox? Your green leafies, your cruciferous vegetables, your citrus type of fruits, especially lemons. Recommend lemons as much as possible in all your food, and drink with it in your water. One of my favorite studies is this one, also by the EPA. Goes back to 1982. The amount of chemicals, they tested 33,000 people, 44 different cities, in their adipose tissue, their fat tissue, and every single one of them had plastics, had pesticides, solvents, perfumes, dioxins. So, who's toxic? Everybody's toxic. Why is this such a big deal? As we've been saying all day long, every single chronic health condition can be related back to toxicity. So yes, we have supplements for every one of these issues. We can piecemeal people, but if you've never detoxed, if you have multiple issues going on, if we do a detox program, a lot of these issues will go away or dramatically be reduced in a very short period of time. That's why this is such a big deal. All right, so for us, we have either very two simple programs, a 10-day or a 30-day, okay? Most of you have seen these already. If we could pull this out real quick. So we're basically using 3 supplements. We're using the shakes, either Super Shake or the Whey, either one, whichever one you prefer, whichever one the patient prefers. The greens, or any color. We prefer the greens, but if they don't like the greens, you can do any color. And then the Live Clear 2, the capsule. That's it. It's not hundreds of different things. It's 3 things. If they don't want to do the fruit and veggie, can they just do the shakes and Live Clear 2? Yes. If they just want to do a pill, can they do Live Clear 2 by itself? Yes. This is very flexible. We're trying to give you different options. We got to meet people where they're at. But a 10-day would be a half a bottle of each of those items. So really 10 days, a full bottle is equal to 2 10-day cleanses. Okay? Now for the more serious issues, 30 days. 30 days we recommend for the major problems, which would be 2 full bottles of each of those supplements. But a lot of times 30 days is 30 years to a lot of people, right? So we have to meet them where they're at. And I say, can you give me 10 days? Yeah, I can give you 10 days. Great. So even for the most complex case, after 10 days, usually you feel a lot better. Give me 10 more days. Can you do that? Yeah. So you have to meet them where they're at with this program. The diet is on the other side. I always tell people, let's focus on the yes. Let's not dwell on the no. Right? Focus what you like. But it's that simple, folks. It's that simple. So we try to customize all of our programs, of course, on the back, or what kind of activity are you doing, what kind of stress techniques are you using, and it simply is checking it off for them. Okay, this detox questionnaire, I handed it out. I've talked to many people about this questionnaire. Question to you, do you use this questionnaire? Does it work when you use it? Right? People want to see data. They want to see tests. They want to see proof. This is the easiest way to prove that someone's toxic. How toxic are you? Well, fill this out, Mr. Smith, in 5 minutes. We'll find out. It's a self-assessment. It doesn't cost anything. Just be honest. That's all we ask with the individual in the past 30 days. Hopefully you all filled it out so you can see yourself. So again, symptoms, right there. Subtotal, grand total, right there at the bottom. On the other side, slightly different, but for every yes question, check mark, grand total right there. But here's the fun part. Tells you exactly, depending on where they score, how toxic are they, right? So, if they score above 50 on the front or above 10 on the back, they're very toxic. Recommend a 30-day program. It's right there. If they feel fit between those numbers, 10-day. So you don't have to get into this long-winded conversation with them. You can say, hey, here's the proof, right here. It also is a way to track their progress. So say they score 50 initially, they try the detox program, the way it's outlined, retest them 10 days later, and they're down to a 25. That's 50% improvement in symptoms in 10 days. It didn't take thousands of dollars of testing. It didn't take months for them to find out. We've had people who scored into triple digits, and in 10 days, they're down to a 20. We've had people 80 to 90% improved on their symptoms in 10 days, following the program, making a commitment, and using this test. So, it does work if you use it. We can send you as many of these as you want. If there's anything here that you want us to change, we'll change it for you. We can customize these, like any of our literature. But this is the number one thing that I encourage you right now to do for the next 30 days is to use these questionnaires. It's also a great time to do this right before the holidays, detoxing, right? So typically we have now till Thanksgiving. Then it's much tougher to get people in that healthy mode, right? That mindset. So now is a great time to really reintroduce this, if you've done this before, or for the first time. Get them thinking on these terms. Any questions on this at all? Yes?
like detoxing might feel like to them? Or
Yeah, that's a great point. So some people, the more toxic they are, the first 3 days especially, they might feel worse. I always compare it to a pendulum, like swinging, right? So sometimes that pendulum goes forward before you improve. So again, they might have some headaches, sometimes might have more skin issues, might break out a little bit. I always tell them, listen, that's only going to last, should last only about 2 or 3 days, which is called the transitional period. If it continues after that, let's back off the supplements. Let's cut everything in half. Let's reduce everything. But you might want to give people a heads up, especially how they score if they're over 50 on that front or over 10 on the back. So again, it's all in presentation on how you phrase that. We don't want to scare anybody away on that, but that's some of the common things, language that we like to use. Jamie?
Yeah, the Live Clear 2 and the greens will help reduce any potential issues with those
Yeah.
things.
That's where the supplements really do help with this transition. Correct.
the other thing, do they continue to take, let's say they're doing other things like the thyroid stuff or the HA class, do
Yeah.
they continue that as usual?
They can, but we do not want to overwhelm them. Okay, so again, this is another great question, another great point. A lot of people, well, I'm already doing a multi, I'm doing official, I'm doing this, now you want me to do 3 more things. So if you get that feeling, that vibe, or whatever, that type of conversation, I would say, well, you know what, for these next 10, 30 days, if you want, you can back off some of the basics. Let's just focus on this right now. We never want a person to feel overwhelmed. And sometimes, because we're so anxious to get going and get them started, sometimes it can have that effect. So if they have that issue, we say let's back off on some of your basics. Now, if they have thyroid issues, I'd still recommend our iodine plus, so it just depends on the specific case. But the basic things, maybe we can reduce those or back off temporarily while they're doing a detox. Okay, great question. Any other questions? Yes?
What would be the maintenance dose for Live Clear 2?
Maintenance dose for Live Clear 2 is 1 to 3 a day. 1 to 3 a day. Okay, just depending on their situation. So that's the #1 tool that I recommend. Now, of course, we have to look at some other issues here, the GI. Are they digesting the food? Are they properly eliminating it? Okay? If they're not, then we start with the GI first. Okay? So we look at GI complete, would then take over for a detox if they're having stomach issues first and foremost. Again, very famous slide. We've talked about this many times. When we're eating the good foods, all the good bacteria, again, non-GMO, gluten-free, everything we talked about today gets all the good bacteria in the system. The bad foods creates chronic yeast, parasites, and so forth. So always look at the diet. Always let's take a look at that first and foremost. With the liver, there's really a 2-step and really now 3-step process. Phase 1, phase 2, and now phase 3 to really eliminate those toxins from the body. And this is really the science behind this. And this is where juicing, this is where fasting does not work. This takes it to the science behind it. So this is a simplified chart. Most of you have seen this, just a refresher. Again, the toxin is in a fat-soluble form. You need certain enzymes to convert it to an intermediate compound. Then you have phase 2, where you need additional enzymes or other enzymes to convert it to a water-soluble compound, where then it is eliminated. Where the new science and new technology is on detox is now phase 3, where we're trying to get maximum clearance of the kidneys and urinary tract. And that's what we've done with the Live Clear 2, is we're focusing on that 3rd phase. So it covers all 3 phases in detoxification. So very, very important. So this is how I answer somebody when they say, well, just juice. Well, that's not really covering this. Does that make sense, everybody? If you get asked that question, make sure you know how to respond. We also take a look at the colon. The #1 question that we also always ask somebody before they start a detox, are you constipated? And our definition of constipation is Well, you should be having at least one bowel movement a day. We'd like you to have more. 2 or 3 would be even better, but let's just start with 1. If you are not having 1 bowel movement a day, then we need to fix that before we do a detox. Otherwise, those toxins aren't going anywhere. And then you could get worse. You could get sicker. So we always ask that question. And our number 1 supplement for that would be our Frontier Cleanse. So very unique. I always tell people mild colon cleanse. So you can do this a couple different ways. This is where I've gotten the best clinical results. It's slightly different than what the bottle says on the instructions or on the text sheet. But for constipation issues, this is how I dose it. 4 capsules, 1 hour after dinner. If you don't have a bowel movement that night or by the next day, bump it up by 1. So the next day would be 5 capsules in that case. If you still don't have a bowel movement, bump it up to 6 by the next day. Most people, 4 works really well. Works extremely well. But we've had some cases where people on cancer, pain pills, things of this sort, where they haven't gone for days. And they needed 6 of these. But whatever dose it takes for them to have that first bowel movement, then we stay at that dosage until we finish the bottle. It's that simple. It just gets everything going in the right direction. Soothes, balances, replenishes, detoxifies. We always look at the fiber too. So if they're constipated, this is the first question I ask them. How many servings of fruit and veggies are you eating? Now this says 5 servings. We've seen recent studies where we recommend 8 to 10 servings because the food is so nutrient depleted. So, 25 to 30 grams a day is recommended. Most people on average 5 to 10 grams a day, by the way. So obviously we're looking at fruit and veggies when we're trying to increase that. Okay. Drink plenty of water. But if we need to add a supplement for focus on fiber, our Frontier Fiber. It's powder, but it's odorless, tasteless, there's no grit. It is a trademark form of fiber called Fibersol 2. And most fibers on the market spike up your blood sugar or raise your insulin levels. This does not. It's a very unique form of fiber. So I recommend a teaspoon in the morning, teaspoon in the evening. If you can put it in the shakes, you can. In fact, we have a little bit in our shakes already and some in our green fruit and veggie drinks. But if they need additional amounts, it's an excellent, easy way to add fiber to their program. Okay, so we always look at that as well. Oh, by the way, so I skipped this. So go back to the Frontier Cleanse. So very unique, as I said, 4 key nutrients, balancing and capture, soothe and replenish, has some whole foods in there, some greens and reds, and most importantly, removes and detoxifies. Dr. Ella alluded to this in her talk earlier today. There's bentonite clay in this, and that really pulls these toxins from the colon. Very unique, has some prebiotics in there as well, the FOS. So it's a very, very unique combination. There's over 30 different nutrients in this. We have not seen any other type of colon formula on the market that's like this one that has all of these. So if someone is focusing on and constipated or on the colon, or if they just want to do a colon cleanse, this would be our number 1. 4 capsules a day if you're doing just a colon cleanse. Okay, so on the detox program, our number 1 is shakes. Okay, most of you know these. The Super Shake is our vegetarian. Protein, very unique. Pea, rice, and pumpkin. There's the fiber. And medium chain triglycerides, MCTs, which Dr. Ella alluded to there or earlier, is all in the Super Shake. We have now 7 or 8 flavors in this now. Just came out the new one, chocolate coconut. So if you haven't tried this, please do so. We've had fantastic results. Or you could do whey. Whey protein is the only source of dairy that we carry at Nutritional Frontiers, but it's super clean. It is 100% organic grass-fed. It is 97% lactose-free. So we've had people who said they couldn't handle dairy or lactose who could still handle our whey protein. But we have both options. You can do either one, whichever one you prefer. Let me go back to that 1 second. Oops. Press the wrong button here. Okay. So, the other thing I always tell people when it comes to protein shakes, because they say, oh, I can just buy these at, the grocery store, the health food store. Everybody says a protein shake, and everybody says it's the greatest and the best, right? So I always tell them, is it hormone-free? What's it sweetened with? Those are the two biggies when it comes to protein. If they don't know that answer, ask them. Ask them for that if you don't know. Again, acetophen K is an artificial sweetener. There's the hydrogenated oils that they like to throw in it as well. Or they use fructose or sucralose is another biggie when it comes to protein drinks. So we have articles about the artificial sweeteners if you need to explain this to someone, really simple, but ours does not have any of those in them. Tastes fantastic. We've had great response with it. This is the Live Clear 2. So very, very unique. It has numerous minerals, herbs, antioxidants, glutathione precursors, such as dimethylglycine, which we alluded to earlier today. 3 different patent ingredients in this. So, anybody on a detox, it would be our number 1. But think about the people who are exposed to chemicals every day. Your painters, dry cleaners, construction workers, mechanics, and beauticians. They're exposed every day to chemicals. Every day they're dealing with this, and they're not detoxifying. These are the people that we recommend Live Clear to all the time because they're constantly getting these chemicals. So, all right, so breaking it down, as I mentioned, focuses on all 3 phases of detox. It has these 3 different patent ingredients. So a patent form of grapeseed, a patent form of milk thistle, and a patent form of curcumin. And what we have found that the technology with this is that these molecules typically are very large. And for some people, it's difficult to break down and absorb. So we're using this patented technology that shrinks the molecule. And therefore you get much greater absorbability. So that is this process. So yes, we sell milk thistle. Go buy milk thistle anywhere. But this takes milk thistle to a whole new level. This is like milk thistle squared. So that's an easy way that I tell people, well, what makes this different? It's this technology, this process. By the way, there's no one else in the nutritional industry that's using this process. So very, very unique. Chlorella helps with heavy metals. And then we added, for phase 3, we added a very special type of probiotic, Bacillus coagulans, which we now also have in our Probezyme. Helps specifically with the colon. We added burdock, which is high in inulin, helps support the good bacteria in the colon. And then uva ursae and stinging nettle also helps to support excretion. So, very, very unique, unlike anything else out there that we've seen in the supplemental world. All right, last part, the greens. The green drink. Greens are very important. Helps on a lot of different levels, but especially for detox, cleansing, rejuvenation. So it helps with all the different aspects, the liver, the gallbladder, the GI, and colon. The main ingredients in this are spirulina and chlorella, and it does have some pre and probiotics in this. And it does have very, we get a lot of positive feedback on the taste of this. Apple cinnamon flavor. If you need to, you can add apple juice to this, organic if possible. But there's the breakdown of it. So spirulina and chlorella are really the key to really pull these toxins from the body and also pull the heavy metals from the body. So that's why it's the third part of this process if you want to get maximum benefit. So here's a little bit more on spirulina. Has that chelation or claw-like ability, removes those free radicals, also helps detoxify the blood, and even NASA has called it a superfood. 1 pound of spirulina is equivalent to 1,000 pounds of other veggies. Just grab. So, very, very unique. We added chlorophyll in this as well, also helps in the gut, prevents those toxins from being absorbed, and barley grass also has that chelation property to it as well. So, if they can do the greens, that just really enhances the program. But again, if they prefer, they can do any of the colors. Any of the colors will help, but the greens would be the most beneficial. Obviously, we know these are, we want people to eat fruit and veggies, but these are convenient, they are affordable. You don't have to worry about them going bad typically like you do regular food. And we say $180 here, that's kind of older now. There's actually over $200 worth of fruit and veggies that you can get in one canister for $50 retail, 30 servings. What's that, $1.60? So $1.60 a day, less than $2 for the protein. And the Live Clear 2 falls in the same category. So basically for this whole program, how you want to position this to your clients, to your patients, $5 a day. $5 a day detox. Again, Jamie alluded to this earlier, reduce it to the ridiculous. That is reducing it to the ridiculous for this program. Under $5 a day, Mr. Smith, for 10 days. Can you do that? Yeah. You see how toxic you are, right? Yeah. Let's do something that's going to change your life, improve your life. Give it a chance. How's that sound? Okay. All right, not forever, temporary. Temporary is how we want to phrase this. Okay, so all the colors, of course, they all have slightly different benefit. The reds, overall well-being. The purples, more the darker berries. Brain, skin, heart. Oranges, more energy, blood sugar. Again, they all are excellent choices. Lastly, I want to leave you with a couple cases. So Jamie has some videotape. Here's a couple documented cases that we've had through the clinic. Here's one with Lyme's. 4 years with Lyme's. Poor physical activity, severe brain fog, chronic joint pain, challenging even to leave home, extreme fatigue, type 2 diabetic. Oh, by the way, diabetic. So, what do we do? At the clinic, detox. Live Clear 2, 3 a day. We added MSM because of the extreme joint pain she was having. Immunomax, 2 a day. We added garlic, 4 a day. For her particular case, here are the results. After just 6 weeks, pain completely gone. Lost 33 pounds in weight. Improved her quality of life. What it's all about. She can actually shop now. She can leave the home. She wasn't able to do that. Brain fog gone, memory dramatically improved. This is what it's about, folks, right here. Second case. 18-year-old, female, suffering 6 months, sinus, runny nose, sore throat, chronically, acne, skin issues. Wanted to lose weight. That was her number one thing. So, detox program, she used a Super Shake, Air Max, 1 to 2 with each meal, Live Clear 2, 3 a day. And look at the results with her. Just 3 weeks. Sinus gone, runny nose gone, lost 6 pounds, skin completely clear, feels amazing, sore throat improved. 3 weeks. Pretty amazing. Okay, so last case. 44-year-old female, suffered from migraines, 20 years, more than 20 years suffered. Overweight, always tired, fatigued. So I said, you know what, I think you should really do a 30-day program. This is actually one of the clinics that I was working with. This was a massage therapist. She's like, nah, I can't do 30 days, but I can give you 10. So I'm thinking to myself, you suffered 20 years, you can't give me 30 days, but okay, I can give you 10. All right, give me 10. So shakes, Live Clear 2, greens, follow the 10-day detox, look at the results. 10 days, migraines 95% gone. Just 10 days. Lost 10 pounds in 10 days. She had so much energy. In fact, when I saw her after the next time at her next appointment, I couldn't believe it. She had this glow around her. She felt incredible. And she's like, Mike, everybody should detox. I'm like, I know. That's what I've been trying to tell you. She's like, I feel so incredible that I want to go up to the nearest mountaintop and scream. I'm like, let's go. Let's go. She felt that incredible in 10 days. We see this time and time and time again, folks. Again, it's not just about educating. It's about changing their life. It's about saving their life. That is the message we want to do. That is what gets me up in the morning, every day, in the middle of blizzard, drive 2 hours to get to my first appointment. Is changing people's lives. All right, so there's a little quick review. Because of time constraints, we've covered most of them. The biggies, of course, on that. And of course, is locking up there. All right, so that's freezing for me right now, which is brings me to the point. So we handed out these posters right here. We can make any poster for you at any time. Again, there now is a special time to do this, as we mentioned. Put this on your door as people are walking in, or when they're leaving, or in your waiting room, or in every single treatment room. We can send you as many as you need of any of these marketing tips. 5-minute toxicity test. There it is. It's all broken down. 10-day, if they're not taking this quiz, 10-day, anybody can do a 10-day. But if you're dealing with, again, the more serious issues, the chronic fatigue, the fibro, the migraines. By the way, fibro will usually be in the triple digits on that quiz. Highest one I ever saw, 180. Fibromyalgia on that quiz. Almost every score was 4. Migraines, fatty acid, fatty liver disease, anything with the liver, any type of food to chemical sensitivities. These are the people we would strongly urge 30 days, but I'll settle for 10. Either way, we're getting them started, getting them going. Okay? Again, you have the test, the quiz, that gives you a specific answer, and then we can track the progress. All right, any other questions on any of this, folks? Make sense? Again, some of you have already detailed this before. I think it's just a nice refresher. We talked about all the dangers in the foods. How do we get them cleared out of our body? It's time to detox. Jamie asked that question earlier. How many of you take a multivitamin? How many of you tried this detox program? A couple, right? Several? That's great. If you never do this yourself, how can you ask someone else to do it? That's usually the first question they ask me. Have you done it? Yes, I have. I feel incredible. I strongly urge you to do it. If you say, well, I haven't gotten to it yet, plan to. Next year. No, doesn't work. You can't ask somebody to do or expect something to do you haven't done yourself. So let's start with yourself and your staff. Make a 10-day challenge right now. When you get home tomorrow, back to the clinic, let's start. You will feel amazing, and so will your patients. Any other questions on any of this? All right, hopefully it makes sense. For coming out today, we are going to be running discount, 10% off on everything, no minimums, 10% off across the board. James, you want to run that for how many days? For a week?
It's your call, Mike. Who's, make the weather next week?
Till next week? Till next Thursday? Or till next Monday?
Yeah, the end of next week.
End of next week, okay, so till next Friday, 23rd, okay, 10% off on every supplement, okay? No minimums, and you can order as many times as you like. 10% off till next Friday for coming out today. Appreciate that. Yes, so we should have surveys as well. Hope some of you are already filling them out. Please fill those out as honestly as possible. Anything that you like, anything you don't like, how would you like us to improve? What would you like to see for our next talk? Please fill that out. Any other thing else you want to talk about? Okay. It's 3 o'clock, right on time. All right, thank you so much again. Appreciate all your support, everything you've done. Thank you. I really, really want to say thank you. God bless.